Welcome to the 2019 NXL Philly Open. I'm Matty Marshall alongside Nick Sloviak, and we're here on Saturday. It's the second day of the prelims. This is such a fun day of paintball to watch because we are going to find out who is going to be moving on to the most important day in paintball, which is Sunday. So, Nick, first set today, we got Baltimore Revo taking on Green Bay Boom, also LA Infamous and New York Extreme on deck. San Diego Dynasty is going to be taking on the ML Kings. Aftermath will be taking the field to take on Tampa Bay Damage. This is going to be a fun one to watch. So let's get your thoughts real quick on Revo and Boom.
I thought Revo looked good yesterday. I thought they looked really good. They had that big rivalry matchup against NYX. We saw some pods get dumped in. We saw Todd Martinez show up to give us some news.
Like that was my boy Todd Martinez to the
infamous
booth.
Todd coming into pits for Chicago 2013. But I thought Revo played really well. They're missing some guys.
Yes.
They made a pickup in Zupa. I thought he played well for them. I think without having Dan Zaleski and Josh Pike here, the team did well. Boom struggled a little bit yesterday. They need the attack. The only offensive weapon I really saw from them was Zach Hill. Not taking anything away from those guys. I know those guys really well, but I think, man, I want to see Blake McShane get up the middle. I want to see Jason Dennis play a little more aggressive. I want to see Wank play a little bit more aggressive.
I think we saw some of that. Todd, welcome to the booth. How you doing this morning?
Hey, guys. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. We have a beautiful sunny day today. I mean, you got to have a smile on your face. It's glorious out here today.
Honestly, I apologize for walking in a minute late. I stopped over there to just enjoy this fabulous blue sky. It made my blue shirt look amazing today, so I was just taking a bunch of selfies over by the booth with Lauren Kelly. So I'm sorry.
Lauren Kelly.
It's all good.
I'm sorry. When I see Lauren, snapping selfies of it, I just want to get in and get involved, take some of myself and, just bask in the non-humid, non-raining, non-crappy paintball day.
I feel like it's a San Diego day over
really
here in
enjoy it.
Philadelphia.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
When I woke up and the sun was shining at like 5:30 in the morning, I was like, is it daylight savings time? Like, what happened? Where did all the clouds go? And I looked outside and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna wear shorts today. I'm gonna put on sunscreen, put on my sunglasses, and be happy.
So talk to me about this first set. We got Revo and Boom, Infamous, and New York Extreme. We were just talking about how, Boom did struggle a little bit, but they didn't struggle. Look, they had a 2-point loss against New York Extreme, some really long points there. Yeah. We saw some attempted aggression out of some of their guys, some good points, but this is what we keep talking about with Boom. We need to have them kind of catalyze a little bit more and have them play off each other. They're going to need that against Revo. Revo is 2-0. They're missing some guys. No Dan Zaleski here, and they also do not have Josh Pike. So those are the two attackers on both sides of the field. Snake side, D side, their first attackers, our main guys, first guys to go. They're not here. But they picked up Zupa. They got Omara playing the Snake. Revo did not look bad yesterday. A really close game against Infamous. That was a nail-biter. But overall, I liked what we saw at Revo. They also squeaked one out against New York Extreme, so 2 slight wins. But, hey, man, a win is a win. What do you think about that matchup?
I think Revo is doing what they need to do to get wins. Sense Henri and Zupa over there on the other side were a deadly combo yesterday.
They really were.
I felt like they were on the same page. They were helping each other. They were picking up the slack when the other person needed help. And that's the reason why they were able to get the job done. Boom feels like the same old Boom. Go to their spots, 5-7 foot tall dudes standing, shooting lanes, and not really making secondary moves, not capitalizing when they have the opportunity to, and just trying to win gunfights from long distance. They create opportunities for themselves because they have those tall guys that can make shots that other people can't, but then just don't do anything with it.
They shot some bodies on the break yesterday,
Shot
too.
bodies on the break and then didn't play the aggressive finishing game that they needed to.
Let's talk about Infamous and New York Extreme. Infamous was a little too much miss, not enough hit yesterday. I got a chance to talk to Thomas Taylor. He had some good points out there, but they couldn't seem to get on the same page on their attack. The big problem for Infamous, this is a problem with a lot of teams out here, survivability. They were having problems with survivability. Thomas was saying, he's like, I get to my spot, and I'd look back, and all of a sudden it's crickets, and it's really quiet. And I'm thinking, oh, man, this is going to be a rough one. Yeah. So that's kind of their situation. They need 2 wins today. Now, Infamous at the last event, they've had similar situations. They lost to Impact and X Factor day 1 in Texas. They came out and they beat PC Katana. They beat ML Kings. They squeaked into Sunday, and they took a 9th place. So maybe we'll see that out of Infamous today, but they're matching up against New York Extreme. New York Extreme is 1-1. 2 close matches. Todd, what's your thoughts on that matchup?
Exactly what you said about Infamous. Infamous got anywhere they wanted to yesterday. Just lost a bunch of gunfights.
Yep.
They got into spots, didn't shoot people, got shot. NYX feels like they're playing timid. I feel like this is an aggressive field, and NYX, they're an aggressive team. And the first game, they came out and they really kind of got up the field and then just needed to do a better job of closing, even though they won. But the second game, when they were playing Revo, I felt like they kind of came out of character and got away from the crazy New Yorkers. Like, they were waiting till the game was over, and then it was like, oh, yeah, time to talk trash, you know? When the trash talking comes naturally from the way that they're playing, you know, their style of play, their attitude, you know, their mental focus when they come in, and it's like, okay, we're going to attack, we're going to keep going, you know, we're going to push each other, we're going to be loud. And then it was kind of like yesterday, it was like, okay, we're going to not die this time, you know, and then did we win? Tight. You suck! Woo! Woo!
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah. Nick, what do you think about that matchup?
I think it's going to be a bloodbath. The one thing, though, in listening to what you said, Todd, I think it's interesting because normally we know NYX is going to play because we hear them before the match starts. We didn't hear them in the pits getting all hyped up and talking that smack. And I think that's one of the things that they need.
They were a little
need to
flat
smack themselves in the
that
face
second
and
game.
wake up. And when we talked about this, there was that interview that Lauren did with Kraft after he played really good against Boom. And, you know, it was a great interview, and he talked about the rivalry. Well, there wasn't that oomph, that Antonio Cagnoni passion.
I think that maybe, you know,
They
because,
need that.
there's obviously a big rivalry between the two Northeast teams, Revo and New York Extreme. So I think that might have got in New York Extreme's heads a little bit. I don't think they'd ever admit that, but they did come out a little timid in that game for at least what we've seen out of them so far. But this is a big game for New York Extreme, big game for Infamous, and a huge game for Boom. Revo, again, sitting at 2-0. So even if they drop both their games today, they still could have a chance to get in. But they didn't win with big point spreads yesterday. Here we go. Starting out point number 1. Second day of prelim action. Going to find out who's going to be playing on Sunday. Revo on the left, Boom on the right, throwing 15 minutes on the clock, and the referee is running in and checking out one of the players here for Revo. Looks like he's clean, and boys, we got ourselves another 5-on-5 break.
I love them 5-on-5 breaks. Boom. Watching is now O'Mara. Gets into the snake around Matt Drula. And you can see O'Mara there on your screen in that snake 1. Taking pressure now from Boom. Boom has 3 guns over here on the snake side. Boom has made a secondary move into the Dorito 2. You can see Boom's lineup there on your screen, the snake corner. First player here on the bottom right of your screen, the can, the back center bunker, the tower, and then in that Dorito 2 in the shadows, top
Nick,
left-hand portion.
Nick, we just talked about this. You know, where's the aggression from Boom, right? So Revo immediately is setting the pace and the tempo of this game. They're in D3. They're also in Snake 1. Now Boom makes a secondary move up to the front tower, but then they try to attempt an aggression, but that was the wrong time to go, and they lose their first body. It's 4-on-5.
Yeah, and it was interesting because Blake McShane was in the back center shooting Snake Way. And that move seemed to have happened. Now Wank gets peeled out of the corner, so now 2 bodies down for Boom. It seems like they just didn't make those moves together. I have no problem with the secondary move by Blake because Jason Dennis is behind him shooting cross on the snake side to cover it. And he looks like he gets a kill on O'Mara. Immediately, Max Trailer fills in. So it's 4-on-3, 1 body advantage still for Revo. And Max Trailer now going to crawl all the way. You can see John Krasawa there pick up for Boom this offseason. John coming over from Trade My Gun Outlaws. Playing heads up, that's the Dorito 2. One of the few bunkers you actually can battle your mirror down the tape. When I say mirror, I mean the exact opposite position on the other side of the field that your opponents are in. Henry since repositions to mirror up Blake McShane of Boom in that center tower. Here's the thing. Blake has been playing heads up the entire time. Henry immediately got in that tower, wrapped around it, saw the opening was there to get up the field and put more pressure on Krasawa, and he does it. And now this is going to allow Zupa, who's in the Dorito 2, we're looking at Max Trailer and Snake, Zupa, who's in the Dorito 2 for Revo, to make an outside move and get next to Henry.
Yeah, no one in front of Max Trailer over here on the snake side. You see him there on your screen, and he's out pretty wide. Doesn't have to worry about that sideline.
Yeah, and he needs to communicate that fact. I didn't hear the kill 2 or 2 elimination call from Revo. Now, I can hear Max turning around and talking to Matt Drula, but they need to be shouting that stuff across to Henry and Zupa. You know, maybe they know, Todd. I haven't heard, you know, that holler for dollar call. But
Yeah, I mean, Max Trailer over here, he missed 1 shot that he had on the towers on each guy. And actually, it looks like he may have hit it because Blake McShane's getting pulled out on a penalty right now.
getting a major.
First penalty of the day in the first point. And there comes Henry Sense, who played really well yesterday. Had a decent amount of kills on the D side playing with the new pickup Zupa. And that major penalty is going to clear the field out here for Revo. So pretty easy point for Revo.
So the ref went in and checked his pack.
Major on a pack hit.
That's what it looked like.
So now we're going to have Infamous and New York Extreme take the field. And you got something for me, Nick?
Well, yeah, just for all you guys listening out there, if this is your first time tuning in to Go Sports, we welcome
30
you.
seconds.
And if this is your first time watching paintball, when we say major penalty, there are two types of penalties that will primarily be thrown on the field at paintball tournaments. A minor, which will result in one arm coming up from the referee, and a yellow flag, which means if I play on with a hit, I get pulled, and then if Todd's on my team, they will pull him with me. So we call that
10
commonly
seconds.
a 1-for-1. And then a major, which means you're playing out with an obvious hit and you change the outcome of a game. Ref will put 2 arms up, throw a red flag, and pull you and 2 of your teammates.
Jumping into the first point here, LA Infamous needs to have a big day today. It's got to start against New York Extreme. Extreme right now taking some little bit of ground over here is Hennessy getting into position on the snake side of the field, insert bunker. Infamous taking a little bit of ground in the center with both towers. That's their most forward player, though. They also have a body in D2. So
Yeah.
another 5-on-5 break.
Right now, looking at NYX, primarily in the all-white jerseys, Infamous in the half-white, half-black jerseys. Harris Hussein diving out to that can. I think half his body was out of bounds. He's still
alive, though.
He's still alive, and he made it. But yeah, 5-on-5. There's LA Infamous or Detroit Infamous on your screen. Snake corner, the can, tower, both towers actually in the Dorito 1. Looks like Rodarte using that teal Planet Eclipse CS2 in that tower, looking to make a move on the inside. He's going to shoot cross. Does he pick up Harris, making the move to the corner?
I don't think he did. I think Harris made it clean.
Yeah.
And then here comes the move
Lackey.
up in the center. Yeah, Lackey, the new pickup coming over from Thunder. But Lackey immediately loses his first engagement as he got to the blue brick.
Nice shot. That was Drew Templeton actually running and shooting from the Dorito 1 to the Dorito 2 that picked him up.
Confirmed kill for Drew Templeton. And now they're going to lose Cody Mikowski. So an uncharacteristic early death for Cody Mikowski. He hasn't had too many of those the past couple seasons. He's been Mr. Consistent for LA Infamous. And now Thomas Taylor, the old salty veteran, still has it and immediately gets up here and putting a little bit of pressure on New York Extreme as he gets to the 40 red wedge.
Yeah, I think that was Will Hennessy that picked up Cody Mikowski. Will had just filtered over into the snake insert bunker, and Cody didn't snap move when he went to go fill the snake. So NYX, you're looking at the one player they have alive over on the Dorito side. That's Kraft Jr. switching to contest Thomas Taylor over here. NYX with 3 bodies stacked over in this snake corner section. Delano, Hussein, and Hennessy.
Looks like Thomas wants to go. And Todd, you know, we've seen Thomas Taylor be the aggressor over here on the snake side of the field his entire career, but looks like he gets a little bit too greedy over here and gets caught. So now 2 bodies have come off. It's a nice kill from Hennessy, but Hennessy might have caught one crossfield.
Ooh, take a bouncer right in the arm. Hennessy's still in there.
Yeah,
Drew
Hennessy.
Templeton snuck that shot in from the first outside little mini wall over there. Drew Templeton's trying to go to work. I think he shot Pat Kraft. Kraft comes running off. Hussein goes rumbling and bumbling back to the back center. He and Delano switch spots. As Hussein's going to try and lock off the Dorito side now.
Yeah, and Todd, 3-on-3. No one on the D side for New York Extreme. Advantage definitely goes to Infamous in this 3-on-3.
Yeah, Infamous just needs whoever their third body is in the middle to kind of get out there with Drew and figure something out and apply more pressure. It's Brett Messer, I believe. And Rodarte originally was all the way over there and filtered all the way back from that center tower around to get into the snake too. And I don't think he knows that there's no one on that Dorito side because Drew Templeton gets shot.
It's a tough death over there as Drew definitely had his shots dialed in as he got a kill and he bounced Hennessy over here, but then losing a gunfight over there on that D side, and that's going to make it a 2-on-3. And now Messer is going to make his move into the spot that Drew was at, but Extreme still feeling a little bit of the pinch and playing real tight in their spots. Delano and Harris Hussein and Will Hennessy out there in this 3-on-2.
Yeah, and the difference here, Todd, I think, and now Harris dies, so it's a 2-on-2, is that we can hear NYX talking. I have not heard Rodarte yell a single thing across the field, even when he had Drew. And Delano gets shot by Messer, so Messer clocking in right now. Got himself a pair of kills, now a 2-on-1. Will Hennessy, he's got 2 confirmed kills already.
Those 2 big bricks on the other side of the field are so good to get kills as Messer forces his way in there and gets 3 kills to end this point. And
Oh, a couple extra bonus balls from Rodarte on NSC's back. Just want to make sure he's awake. It's like, I don't know if you had your coffee this morning, but
you don't apologize and then go do the happy dance in front of the pit. You don't bonus ball a dude square in the back and then go, oh, sorry. Yeah, what's up?
Rodarte is excited.
yeah, he's well, they did just win a
What was
2-on-3,
that?
so
Well, Messer shot everybody.
yeah.
He didn't shoot
He was
anybody.
just happy to put some paint on some people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woo! Shot a guy using Callie's gun.
Yeah.
go.
Hey, that was a solid point. Let's check out this replay here. Hey, good job by Infamous. It was a 3-on-3,
Yeah,
but
but here's a great example of just poor communication. Like Messer shoots him and doesn't say a damn thing to Rodarte, and then that's why Rodarte shoots him, because he still thinks there's a guy playing. I don't know how you don't recognize it's the back of some guy walking off and you see his numbers and then shoot him a couple. But yeah, there's the happy dance. Yeah, woohoo, we did it! All right, here we go. Boom on your left, Revo on the right. Revo took the first point right away. Ref's running in and check out a player for Boom. Looks like Jason Dennis is clean. Revo, though, going to lose Zupa and lose O'Mara. So 5-on-3 right now. And this goes back to what Todd said. Boom gets these kills. They have an advantage right now to make some big moves. Darula gets shot in the tank. It's a 5-on-2. No one is yelling that from Boom, and no one's made a secondary, and they have 60% more firepower right now on the field.
yeah, it's well, they duped that kill. So yeah, Blake McShane walking off. What are you pointing at, Nick?
No, I'm saying that they're finally now starting to move. Sorry.
Yeah, they are getting a little aggression, some movement here from Boom.
But Blake McShane didn't get shot, so
Yeah,
it's a 4-on-2.
That is a 4-on-2. There's
Yeah.
definitely 2 players left allowed. Yes, 4-on-2 situation. The 2 players on your screen there for Revo. And now Zach Hill going to make his move and get it into Snake 3. Try to finish this point out, tie this one up. Revo tucked in their spots, trying to pull out this low body situation, down by 2. We just saw Infamous do it. Didn't see a ton of low body situation wins yesterday, but we definitely saw a couple. It is possible. Just, again, saw one right now in point number 1 for Infamous. Like the pickup for Zach Hill for Boom. It really adds another threat. We talk about threats all the time. If you don't have somebody on the D side and somebody on the Snake side that's looking to aggressively push forward and play smart up there, you're going to have a rough go of it here in the Pro Division. And Zach Hill is definitely that guy for Boom here on the Snake side.
Yeah, I thought he played very well for Shock last year in the spins they gave him. Now Henry Sintz going to get taken out, so it's a 4-on-1. And the typical thing you notice here, as now Max Trailer feels the pressure and gets pulled out, is if that was impact, just the reaction you see from teams in certain situations. Now, the one thing you could say to Boom, and Todd, correct me if I'm wrong, is, I mean, at least that's just how they always play. Consistent. That's just the way they always seem to react when they get up on bodies. They don't shark down the field. They typically don't lose people sloppy in situations like that, but they do allow the opposing team to set up.
What they do is they give opposing teams an opportunity to get back in the game, right? When you don't capitalize on the positions, don't capitalize on the bodies, then that's when you allow a team to not feel the pressure and get comfortable and reassert themselves and win a gunfight and even up the bodies and then take a spot. And, you know, Boom needs to capitalize on what they're best at, which is shooting people on the break more often, more consistently.
Jumping into this next point, Infamous with a 1-point lead and another 5-on-5 break. The referee's going to get in there. No, now actually we're going to see a penalty, minor penalty assessed on the Snake side. And now that leaves just 3 bodies out here for NYX. No,
minor on the opposite side
throw
of
it
the
away.
field.
Jared Carl gets a minor, so it's going to make things a little bit more interesting over here as these players are going to have to reposition 3-on-3.
3-on-2.
3-on-2.
Thomas Taylor died, and then a minor penalty on Brett that pulls Sean. So just Drew Templeton and Rodarte possibly alive against Delano, Lackey, and Kraft.
This is the
and
type
Kraft now gets shot.
This
so
is the
2-on-2.
Yeah, 2-on-2, but we'll see if Infamous can pull this one out. But if they do lose this point, this is one they're going to want back.
Yeah, Cody Mikowski and Drew Templeton on Delano, who just got in the Snake, and Lackey. And Delano gets shot by Cody. So Drew Templeton going to go to town, and he takes out. Oh, wow. Wow.
So Cody gets shot.
Is Drew alive?
Drew is still alive, and Drew just got that kill. So Drew just saved this point here for Infamous. And what an interesting point. Penalty on Extreme. Then Infamous throws away the advantage. They get a penalty. They also lost Thomas. They are at a disadvantage. But then Drew Templeton and all this madness has stayed alive on the D side, but he does not know the count right now as all those bodies come off
Well, you know what's
pretty quick.
It's confusing. They're both wearing white jerseys, and the refs' jerseys are primarily white. So, like, I saw the refs running in. I'm like, oh, play, it's the ref. Seeing a lot of white out there still. But great shot by Lackey to get Cody. That was a great shot.
Yeah.
Almost saved it.
Drew just playing smart right now. He knows that, hey, I don't know the count, so I'm going to be very careful as he pushes down the field and just checks off every single bunker, as this is an incredibly important game for Infamous. It's do or die time for Infamous. If they do not win this game, they will be knocked out of the tournament. Every couple years, we'll have a team sneak in at 1-3, but it's almost impossible.
I think that was Scotty Graham.
Was it Scotty Graham over there?
Yeah.
That makes
Let's
sense.
get a look here at the top 5 killers for LA Infamous. You can see there Thomas Taylor and Cody Minkowski leading the pack, Rodarte, Templeton, and Jerry Caro, but the majority of the killing being done by Thomas Taylor and Cody Minkowski. And just what a couple years that Cody Minkowski's had. Couple early deaths today, though. He needs to tighten things up right now, as he has definitely been a mainstay of their starting 5 and a big reason that they've been able to stay in some of these tournaments. They did make Sunday at the last event, looking to repeat that performance here and maybe do a little bit better than the 9th place.
Statue of Liberty needs to tell his team to get amped up because they're looking a little flat right now. Lady Liberty. Boom.
Liberty.
Revo. 0.3. Tie game.
Boom on the breakout goes heavy guns. All 5 guns shooting down the field for Boom, as they don't take much ground. Does it produce a kill, though? It doesn't look like it. Revo also doubles up the back center, going with some heavy guns themselves, but they don't produce a kill either. So it's another 5-on-5 breakout.
Yeah, both teams were pretty much mirrored in their breakout, double stacking the back center. It was Zach Hill who put in O'Mara and made his secondary out to the snake insert bunker. You can see him right there on your screen. That's Boom in the red and black, hailing from the great state of Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
With them cheese curds.
I think it is pronounced Wisconsin.
I love
Nick,
cheese
and
curds.
you're from kind of around there, so I thought
Wisconsin.
you would know that.
Okay, English. Do you speak it?
You know, guys,
Minnesota may be a little different up there. You know, I've talked to Trevor Pearson, some people up there.
So still 5-on-5 as these teams just locked in their spots and gunfighting. Rebel getting real tight, though, in that back center. Not a good idea to double up that back center for a long period of time, as once your opponents get out wide, it's going to make living a lot harder in those spots as those angles increase.
Yeah, Zach Hill did a good job of recognizing that they were doubled up there and communicated that to his teammates to try and put the pinch on O'Mara. It's been O'Mara and Derula over on this side for Revo all day yesterday and now today. And so, hey, if I can keep O'Mara locked in the back center, I'm doing a good job, because he is a nasty player, and I wouldn't want him in the back center if I was Revo. I'd want him out there attacking either up the middle or on the tape.
Yeah. I like the move of putting O'Mara over here on the snake side with the lack of a real dominant middle bunker. You know?
Yeah. I like
It's
that.
got to go somewhere, right?
Well,
and
Zupa goes over to the Dorito side.
No, Zaleski, you got to have
You
someone
know?
be the weapon over here.
Yeah,
and Omar's the
exactly.
best weapon that team has.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's just trapped now in that back center.
Weapons. Got to have them.
Yeah, for sure. So with 7 minutes and 56 seconds left, this might be one of the longest points where we've seen it go 5-on-5. These teams still gunfighting. Looking at Boom on your screen currently, and they haven't done much as far as taking ground is concerned. Zach Hill is at the insert bunker here on the snake side of the field. That's typically called the God bunker as far as codes are concerned over the years. Hill's looking inside, getting a little squirrely in there. He might be thinking about making a move into the snake.
Yeah, I mean, in looking inside, he's really forcing Henry Sins to play that shot, and now on the tape, he's forcing Derula. But Derula's been going back and forth, and now Zach playing Henry. And look at that, he puts Henry in for a second. Derula looks inside, and that allows Zach Hill to make the snake one.
One quick little snapshot, put in those guys, dip right across that zone into the snake.
Yeah, and a good play off that now is O'Mara is able to leave the back center and make it all the way out to the snake corner. This is now where I think Blake McShane and Boom going to lose their first body, and it's Kurzawa coming out off that center tower.
Well, Kurzawa was doing a little bit of surgery on his gun in there before he got shot. So that's the first body to drop, as we've been through a couple minutes here in this point already. Still locked up at 1 point apiece, but it is now a 5-on-4 situation in favor of Revo with a nice kill on Kurzawa.
Yeah, and Darula immediately fills into the snake when Blake McShane repositions behind Zach Hill. Zach Hill in that snake 1 has both Darula and O'Mara in a line. There's a gap between the mini walls and these wedges on the snake side that allow these players to play each other heads up. Darula posted down the tape on Zach Hill. Hill looking infield. You can see now O'Mara has repositioned to come directly behind Darula to play McShane heads up. I'm not sure if McShane knows that. There is, I'll tell you what. Todd, bounce shot. Off the end of that beam in the snake into that God bunker, the Snake Aztec, is definitely there. I haven't seen either player shoot it. As O'Mara now repositions back to the corner. But he was definitely in position to shoot that bounce shot into McShane or McShane into O'Mara. Not a lot of stuff happened on the D side.
Yeah, it's a little
There's
quiet
a D
on
side?
the
And both players
over there.
still sitting in the back center. Now, Matt Darula does make a move into the Snake 3 through the inside. I don't know if McShane saw that. Hill definitely didn't see it.
Well, you know, Darula, O'Mara has been kind of the primary snake guy, but Darula had some really good points in the snake for Revo as well, too. With, again, no Dan Zaleski. Somebody's got to pick up the slack over there. So the combo of both Darula and O'Mara did enough to get the 2 wins for Revo. And we're working on an incredibly long point here where it's now 5-on-4. But best field position on the field currently held by Matt Darula as he is at snake 3.
Yeah, and it's interesting to me, Todd, because Trailer's still in the back center. He's looking snake way. Sins is looking snake way. And I think that Zupa up there in the center tower looking Doritos. Right now, Revo can overpower Boom on the Dorito side. They're just not looking to make any moves.
Yeah, we're playing real conservative out here. Ooh, Darula almost got caught in there. Oh, and he did get shot.
Did you see it?
I mean, I saw him flinch, but I didn't see any paint spray off.
I don't know who shot him. He came up, he shot across it, no one, and then he came back down. The ref was calling him out.
Is it Zach Hill?
I didn't even see him post on the tape. That was the interesting thing.
Well, he's been pushing the inside of that snake. Kind of shooting the same thing that
Well, whoever
the God is shooting.
whoever shot him, it was a big kill for Boom, because now that's going to slow things down even more as the player that was looking to put some offense up.
Oh, and McShane
Bounces
just bounced Max Trailer in the snake can. And yeah, lots of time ticking off the clock. 1-1 game.
And paint is going to be an issue here. There are a lot of pods on the ground, and there are a lot of empty packs.
Yep.
And that's going to slow things down even more. Referees jogging in to look at back center.
I think it's Elliot Weaver
that
might have just
Weaver?
taken one.
Weaver's getting scoured over by the ref. He's good to go. Might have been another bounce.
Well,
Still 4-on-4. I think we burnt off 5 minutes off this clock.
At least.
we were, I think, at 8:12.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. So we're coming up on a 5-minute point here. This is the second longest point. We saw a 7-minute point yesterday.
As my babies like to say, 9-9.
So yeah, it's a 1-1 pill.
Sleepy time.
O'Mara dives into the snake too, and core samples. That looked painful.
Yeah.
His gun was literally standing on its barrel tip
So
up in the air.
Amara's going to have to rip that barrel off and get that dirt, that plug out of that barrel.
Yeah, so when we say core sample, typically when you dive, the one thing you want to protect is your gun, and you want your barrel to be up. O'Mara dove in, kind of lost control of his gun, and the barrel tip went into the soft mud. And once that happens and your weight's coming in on it, O'Mara right there on your screen, taking his barrel off, he's going to have to get the mud out of the tip of his barrel. Yeah, it's not good.
Dr. O'Mara.
Yeah. Did you take the, I didn't see if he swabbed it all the way, just took the tip off. He just swabbed it all the way, so he's back up.
He definitely swabbed it. He got it cleaned pretty efficiently here, so it looks like he's ready to go.
Question.
Yep.
You core sample and you try and shoot it out, the ball breaks in your barrel, did you just eliminate yourself? I legitimately had someone message me.
Never thought about that
A kid
before.
messaged me that on Facebook. He's like, I mean, technically, you're shooting yourself. That's a good
Wow.
question. I mean, if you shoot paint and you break it in your barrel, doesn't count.
It's not in the rule book.
I know.
Here comes O'Mara now,
Has no
pushing up to
idea.
the wedge.
Oh, man.
Almost got Zach Hill almost had a free kill on O'Mara because O'Mara did not know that Hill was posted there, but O'Mara, using those quick reflexes, able to stay alive. And now we're coming up on A minute and 50, the lowest scoring game that we have seen out here this entire tournament.
It's either O'Mara or Hill are going to go. And I thought Hill had the opportunity right there. He squandered it, looked inside. O'Mara was back on the tape. And oh, nice shot by Elliott getting a kill on Max Trailer. So 4-on-3, one body advantage right now for Boom. But better.
Ooh, O'Mara living on the edge over here. Comes out, tries to get that shot inside, and now gets a nasty snapshot on Zach Hill as the move goes made in the center, but Henry Sense died, so now just 2 players left alive, but a body comes off. Jason Dennis takes the walk for Boom. 3-on-2 now.
2-on-2.
2-on-2.
Zupa shoots Jason Dennis. It's just Elliott Weaver and McShane on Zupa and O'Mara. Oh my gosh.
It's been a blow-for-blow point back and forth, the longest point we've seen out here so far in this tournament, and this game's going to end 2-1.
I'm going to bet no one has paint. We're going to overtime.
It could be. Very well could be. Just 50 seconds left in regulation time. We only saw 2 overtime games in all of yesterday's matches happen in the same set.
Zupa has the ball right now. All he's got to do is
go
get that kill on McShane, and this one is going to be over with.
Zupa doesn't know the count. He's looking for bodies. He needs to get down the field.
O'Mara just said 3-on-3. O'Mara told him it was 3-on-3. So that's why they're trying to figure it out. He said kill 233.
Oh,
so they're looking for the other body.
We're going to overtime.
I think you may be right, unless they can get a kill in the next 5 seconds or so. O'Mara's checking off on that D side, going to wrap around and try to get a shot down that sideline in the back corner bunker.
That's your chance, Zupa. There it is.
Time's gone. Now you feel out of the back center.
And we are going to see a 1-1 tie with an 8.5-minute long point.
I'm going to go throw up.
9-9.
So in a 1-1 pillow fight here to start out the morning, Revo and Boom keeping us on schedule today as we are going to be heading to an overtime. You can see there the big dive, O'Mara on the replay. And with this, all the rain that Philadelphia area got really put a lot of moisture into this ground. So it's really sticky out there. And we've seen a lot of guys core sample this weekend. So you're watching some of the gunfights that were going down. You can see that nice shot there from O'Mara, which opened things up a bit on this snake side. He still had a couple bodies to deal with, and one in the center and one in that back corner bunker, but they could not find a way. They had the count off, and that cost them the chance to steal the win at the end. So we're heading to overtime now after a real long break. Infamous still with 9 minutes and left to go here in their match against New York Extreme. Infamous up by 2, and the first kill is going to go to Infamous. Now
Harris.
2.
Yep.
3. Both
Drew
players.
Templeton once again goes straight to that outside first mini wall, wraps it, gets 2 kills, pushes up into the next one. And quickly, NYX didn't concede the point. I feel like Drew Templeton was in there whenever he wanted to yesterday, just failed to capitalize.
Yeah.
He capitalized at about 50% yesterday. What he just did right there, I feel like is the opportunities there all day long. Drew Templeton was going wherever he wanted.
I agree. And when I first saw this layout and then when I walked it, and you guys have to help me remember this, but I believe it was a snake side of the field that had a mini wall offset like this, and if you got to it and you came over the top and wrapped it, you had that. You had people all day. And I remember we practiced Mouse last year on X Factor, and he was doing this nonstop. And I can't remember, I don't know, Todd or Maddie, if you can think of a layout where there was a mini wall offset just like this on the snake side.
Which event you're talking about?
Yeah, I didn't. I meant to go back and look at it.
Was it Atlantic City last year?
It could have been. It could have been.
I think I kind of remember something about that. But
I just fans out there, if you're watching, look for me. They're your top 5 killers from yesterday into today. Chad George sitting at first place, 14 confirmed kills, 16 points played. Archie Montemayor, let's check those numbers on that.
Atlantic.
14 kills, 15 points played. Alexander Bridnikov, 13 kills out of 17 points played. Alex Rodriguez, we saw him yesterday morning kill it, 13 kills, 15 points played. And then Brad McCurley, 12 and 12. Nice KP of 1 right there.
all those guys had a day yesterday. Alex Rodriguez, he's going to be playing on Dynasty coming up next against ML Kings, and Alex was a lights out for Dynasty yesterday, so he can bring that today. Maybe he will be hoisting the Golden Barrel if Dynasty goes deep in the tournament.
Yeah.
Got to go deep in the tournament to have a chance to win the Golden Barrel.
Atlantic City last year, out on that Doritos side, it was a temple and then like a little mini wall and then a tall tower.
Yeah. There was a mini wall somewhere where if you got there right away and you came over the top and you wrapped it, I mean, you had people. You destroyed people.
Jumping into this overtime point here. 5 minutes on the clock, and it is tied at 1.
That was overtime.
Yeah, overtime point.
Zach Hill takes one to the face. He walks off.
So now these teams don't have 8 minutes to work with again. It's only 5, so we may see one-on-ones if they play this point like they played the last point.
Don't do that to me. Don't even put that out there.
Yeah, maybe X Factor will go deep into a game and see some one-on-ones. And
that's what you want.
see NXL,
you know, as
yeah.
long as Meter keeps killing people like me. Points.
Oh, that's right. He did shoot you in the back of the head.
Twice.
So now a little slight move there up Henry Sense to the first tower, and then you're going to filter out of that back, doubling up that back center. So really, again, not much ground taken from either squad as they're already kind of playing Sunday paintball here. Just no risks taken, period, from either one of these teams.
Yeah. And this really does interest me.
Well, Boom did get a kill, though. I'm
They
sorry,
did-
Revo
they
got a
did-
kill.
Revo got a kill. They shot Zach Hill going to the snake corner. Now, both Max Trailer and Elliot Weaver, Elliot for Boom and Max Trailer for Revo, are in the back center shooting the snake way. You don't have very good shots from the back center on the snake side, especially when you're tight to it. You can't prevent the player from getting into the snake. That lane's just not there. So I don't know what they're shooting. They're not engaging. You can see each other heads up, but they're not engaging each other. They're just shooting paint. And O'Mara is heads up, and McShane is cross. Kurzawa is cross in the center. You're looking at Revo on your screen. Like, Boom, typical breakout. But Revo, just knowing the personnel in that squad and what they've done, just not very characteristic, especially having the one-body advantage.
Maybe it's no Pike here, no Zaleski. Those two guys are very aggressive. But
O'Mara, man. He's
well,
probably-
yes, I know, but O'Mara has had some decent amount of spins over here in the snake side. We've seen Drool in there, but I do agree. I mean, Revo is known as an aggressive team. We're talking about the old 187 crew guys, and I mean, they came up into this pro league. Remember, Todd, when 187 first came up?
Yeah.
One of the reasons we started liking them so much is it was a fun team to watch.
Yeah, they're wilding out, running everywhere.
Now, I'm not asking them to make ridiculously poor moves and make bad decisions out here and just cannonball down the field, but just a much more defensive game plan here for Revo. We'll see if they can find a way to get another kill to get an even bigger advantage, but it is 5-on-4, and everyone is just kind of content to be gunfighting out of their spots right now. Another little move out kind of backwards and out wider, though, into D1 here for Revo. Now, here we go. Revo starting to stack things up. There's a big move. There's Henry Sense able to make it clean to the blue brick.
See him right there on your screen, wrapping around. Looking to put pressure on Kurzawa and Dennis. Dennis finds him, gets in a gunfight. And this is interesting now, too, because Boom now should know that Henry's there. And there's the bounce shot coming in, going to force Henry to switch and look the other way.
Yeah, so Henry now going to look snake side.
3 guns, Dorito side for Boom. Only Kurzawa in the center tower is playing towards the snake side. It's going to allow O'Mara now and Max to make a coordinated move out wide. Max to the can and O'Mara to the corner.
Blake McShane gets shot out of his spot. Referee is going to run in and check the player. Just moved into D2 here for Boom as well. So looks like Revo, oh, no, did not get that kill. So it's 3-on-5, but that's a pretty big two-body advantage here for Revo as Max Trailer is now in the snake. He's at the mini wall. He's going to get that kill on Kurzawa. And it looks like Revo's going to have a real good chance to win this game here and go undefeated so far through 3, but they're going to lose Henry Sense as he comes off. Just 2 players left alive here as Max Trailer is going to get a free kill crossfield. Just 1 player left alive here in this overtime point. Max Trailer with the confirmed kill as they start combining here to get that last one. So Revo's going to take this game. Lowest scoring game so far. 2-1 will be the final score.
2 confirmed kills there for Trailer. O'Mara completely out of air. And
Well, hey, it wasn't the standard way that we see Revo play. Very conservative for Revo, but it worked. They got the win.
What did I say at the very beginning? doing what they need to do to get wins.
Yep, they are doing, and all their games have been close. Revo yesterday had a 1-point win against Infamous. Then they come and they have a 1-point win against New York Extreme, and now another 1-point win against Boom. So yeah, they are doing just enough to get the victories. So it was not an upset. But this is another close game for Boom against a top-level team. Revo took 2 top 4 finishes last year. The only Sunday they did not make was at the World Cup. So 4 out of 5, not too shabby. But you know, if you look at the players that Boom's putting out there and how they've been playing against some of these top teams, Boom is getting better.
Yeah. I say what I say about Boom because we've played them so many times. It felt like we ended up in the same bracket forever. And they beat us a bunch of times. A bunch of times they could have beat us and threw it away. You know, I don't just make this stuff up, you know, like
yeah.
I'm talking from actual experience here.
Oh,
Boom
I agree with you.
Does a lot of stuff well. They just need to learn how to finish.
Yeah. On the breakout here,
Capitalize.
both teams losing bodies on the break. Cody Mikowski getting that shot wide, getting a kill, and Delano as well. Cody Mikowski now getting chopped up, though, because Baltimore gets himself in the snake. Drew Templeton for Infamous on the flip side right there on your screen, already in that wedge, but has not produced a kill yet. I think he's got Harris in front of him. That's what I love about Harris. The dude somehow manages to, what's the word, bumble and stumble?
Rumbling, bumbling,
Rumbling, stumbling. Yeah, no, he just finds a way to get in good spots.
Everywhere.
And he's all over the place. He's definitely the most aggressive guy on New York Extreme.
He looks like a 90-year-old drunk guy with a peg leg running to bunkers sometimes, you know, but he somehow still seems to get there.
He does. He's I mean, he's not the fastest guy out here, but he finds a way to make it into his spots. His timing is real good, and then he picks the right moments to go sometimes, too. He is a weapon for New York Extreme.
Baltimore might have just dropped a shot in on Drew Templeton.
Harris Hussein now going to get up into the blue brick.
Yeah, no one has any idea on Infamous. Drew Templeton's going to look inside and just get roasted. Or he's going to try and make the next bump and get destroyed.
Yeah, Harris just can't blow his shot here on Drew. But also can't let the rest of his team die around him before, while he's waiting for that shot.
Yeah, Delano Kraft fills out now behind Harris, and Delano needs to get out over here behind Baltimore.
And this is the point for New York Extreme. They have a body advantage. They're down by 3. There's just under 7 minutes to go. They have to win this point to stay in this match. Harris is going to come through as tries to get that kill. Referee running to check him out. Harris able to stay alive. What a beautiful job by Harris Hussein.
Very unorthodox, but it worked.
Baltimore still alive over here on the snake side of the field. They're going to filter a body up with him. Here comes Delano, going to get better field position, and here comes Harris Hussein, way past and all the way on to Infamous' side of the field, and he gets another kill, so it's like a 2-pack here for Harris Hussein, and this was the point that New York Extreme needed to win to stay in this match. Going to hit that buzzer. It's now going to be a 2-point game. They got a chance.
Yeah, and it just unfortunate for Infamous there is Rodarte and Messer could not fill out and help Drew Templeton. They lost Thomas on the break. They lost Cody because of Baltimore's nice move in the snake. But they just sat there crossed up and kind of left Drew on an island because Harris came all the way around the brick into no man's land and shot Drew. Drew saw him, filtered back over the edge of the wedge, tried to do a jump shot on him in the open, and he still hit the shot and didn't get hit by Drew and went back in. That was impressive. Might be move of the day. Might be worth
early.
It might be worth Sam Monville taking a look into that because I know Sam Monville's got a little surprise for someone with a crazy move. You see that? Sam
Are you talking about what I'm thinking you're talking about?
I'm talking about what you're thinking, what I'm talking about.
Ooh.
Did I do that right?
Yeah, that was pretty close enough.
But that was ridiculous. He literally came across. I think Harris assumed he would just have Drew's back. Drew saw him, went to the outside edge, completely protected. Harris just stood in the open. Drew jumped up and Harris hit the shot and then went back.
What did we just talk about? Harris Hussein finds a way to always be in the right spot. Not always, but more often than not. And even though he's definitely not even anywhere close to the fastest guy out here, or even close on his team, he's unconventional, but he finds a way to get it done. He's a big offensive threat for New York Extreme.
He always tries, but it's interesting because he always tries the right move. Here, Drew Templeton sees him come across. Drew's protected, and then there's the hit. And that's Drew's just pointing at him.
This is one of the things I love about the game, man, as we see Harris come through. You do not need to be 5'5" and blazing fast to play this game well. You really don't. The gun's a great equalizer, man. So it's always great to see guys like Harris Hussein get out there and play at a high level like this. He got a 2-pack in that last one to help keep his team in this match. And this game brought to you by Dye Precision and the new M3 Plus. Go to dyepaintball.com/M3 Plus. You can see all the new features, and a big shout out to Billy Wing and the crew behind the scenes.
Won the last 3 events.
Yeah, they are the Russian Legion's a factory team. The only reason the Ironmen are still around is because of Dye, so definitely want to head to their website and check out the gun. Here we go. 6 minutes, 10 seconds left to go. A 2-point spread. Another body dropping. It's going to be for Extreme, so it's now a 4-on-5. Infamous, a slight 1-body advantage. And not much forward progression for Infamous. Extreme knows they need some more points here to tie, so they get Harris Hussein at the wedge over there on the D side. And this is another thing about Harris's game. They put Harris all over the place. Harris doesn't just play one spot, so it makes New York Extreme less scoutable because you don't really know where Harris is going to go.
Yeah, and 2 interesting things happen here. Drew Templeton for the first time doesn't go out wide. Harris does, and then I'm pretty sure I just saw
Harris is now in the 40 brick, wrapping,
if
and
that's
is about to start going to work.
Yeah, Hennessy literally crawled from the back center to the can. I've never seen that. Like he literally like bear crawled to that can.
I think the mud had something to do with that. But
Was it a trip and fall? And
No,
then crawl?
like he literally like he was crawling in a snake. Crawled to the can from the back center.
Unconventional, but it worked out.
Yeah, and down a body right now. NYX is still in the best field position. And again, you know what? Not a bad move by Infamous to kind of maybe break short because they do have a 2-point lead. 4:50 left to go in the game. But Harris Hussein past the 50 now onto Infamous' side of the field.
Well, he needs to get some help because
Exactly
the
what I
guns
was
are
just
gonna
about to
the
say.
guns are gonna start shifting, even though there's still 3 guns looking snake side. Eventually, those guns are gonna shift over to Harris. The reason why he's able to make that move is there's only 1 gun looking that way. But somebody else on New York Extreme, I know they're down a body, but they need to get up the field a little bit here, then before Harris gets run down. So Rodarte, nice move by Rodarte to come up and get the shot on
he
Harris.
shot him. Harris shot Rodarte.
Did he?
Yeah.
Well, no check on him, and Rodarte is still in that spot alive at the blue brick.
Why would they?
I think he
But that was the move that needed to happen because no one else was getting up the field. Harris is past the 50, and no one was protecting him, and no one can protect him from that run if Rodarte stays low, and Rodarte, not the tallest guy out there.
And that's one of those things where, you know, when does Harris put Harris where Harris wants to be? Is it a team decision? And again, you have to know, and I would just think, knowing this because you play with him and watching him, he's just going to go. And so you have to have that read. If you're a guy behind him and you see your player go, you got to know, okay, well, if I'm playing with Todd, and Carl just gets, Tennessee gets destroyed cross field. This Kraft makes his way up to the 303.
But this is the problem right now with Extreme. Individual moves.
100%.
They're just going by themselves. You got Harris up there by himself, and then another individual move over. It just, the teamwork's not quite there right now in this particular match for New York Extreme. They also seem a little flat this morning. I haven't really heard any chants from them, and I mean maybe they got one earlier, but this is a team that needs to play hype. They're the loudest team we have out here. Let's get a look here at the top killers. No surprise that Pat Kraft is leading the pack as he had a really good day yesterday. 10 confirmed kills, but we haven't really said his name much so far here in this first match. I mean, they only have 1 point on the board. Will Hennessy with 9, playing on the snake side over here. Harris Hussein with 9, John Delano with 7, and Scotty Graham with 6. So Scotty Graham working himself into a little bit more playing time here with New York Extreme. They've definitely added a little bit of depth past season since they came into the Pro League last year. Started entertaining us. So we will have 2 minutes in between points as the conclusion of the Revo and Boom match. If you just tuned in, thank you for joining us. That was a 2-1 low-scoring game. It went all the way to OT into overtime, and then they used the majority of that overtime. Because they had timeouts being called, so they're going to add another minute to that. Let's look at the top killers here for Los Angeles Infamous. Thomas Taylor, he's leading the pack with 14 now, so that should put him up in the top 5 or overall kill count leaders. But you need to get to Sunday if you want to win the Golden Barrel, and ideally you need to get to at least the semifinals to have a legitimate chance. Cody Mikowski up there too. with 11, even though he's had some uncharacteristic. He's had some kills, but some uncharacteristic early deaths for Cody. Even though still put 11 up. Ryan Rodarte with 9, Drew Templeton with 8, and Jerry Carl with 6. So there you have it, the top 5 killers for Los Angeles Infamous. These statistics all brought to you by myfanwagon.com. Definitely download the app, play Fantasy Paintball. You know, going back to when I started playing back in the day, I never thought we'd get a chance to play fantasy paintball, but here we are in 2019. It's a reality, and you have a chance to win guns. So you got to be in the VIP to do so. Let's get a look at the overall kill count leaders. So top 5 overall, all tied at 14. Look at that. Omara, Trailer, George, Taylor, and Amana Mayor, all with 14 kills. Even though Omara, Max Trailer, and Thomas Taylor have played some more points than Chad George and Archie Montemayor. We will see X Factor and Houston Heat take the field later this afternoon. Both of those teams are undefeated, 2-0 yesterday. Good job, Nick.
Thanks, man.
Had a little friendly fire on you out there. So was Meter?
Best 20 bucks I ever spent.
Meter, $20 richer.
Dude,
Was it Meter?
Yeah, he got me twice. Twice yesterday. And then I took one from Colt, I think, at practice in the back of the head where I went dark. It was a zinger, man.
Buzz your head?
Oh, yeah. I mean, center punch in the back of the head. 4-1. Infamous on your right in the red, white and black jerseys. And Harris, is he okay? Maybe he's getting a penalty. I don't know. Two bodies walking off for NYX.
Harris tried to go running and gunning to Snake 2 on the break. Didn't quite get there. And it looks like they lost their wide Dorito guy as well, as Drew Templeton is now past the 50 on the NYX side of the field. Rodarte is going to get shot in the pack on the way up.
Another kill for Drew Templeton, crossfield. Gets that kill out of the Snake. Bodies are dropping here now for New York Extreme as they are playing hyper-aggressive and trying to take some spots. And because they're down 3 with not a lot of time left.
Yeah, and you know what? Infamous, they get their 4th elimination now on Delano and Kraft dies. They need to score these points because they did lose both games yesterday. They want every point they can get.
Yeah, Infamous needs to win today, and they need to win big. They are 0-2, but like we talked about at the open of the show, that's exactly what Infamous did at the last event. They lost their first 2 games on day 1, won both of their games on day 2, and they won them pretty big. The first game was a 4-1 and then a 6-0 beating of the ML Kings. That allowed Infamous to sneak into Sunday. They need to replicate that here today. So yesterday, they lost only by 1 to Revo, and then they got mercy ruled by AC Dallas. So like you said, Nick, they need to put some points on the board.
Absolutely. And Kraft is coming in the pit and being vocal, but this is the most docile word, like just
it's the flattest I've seen here.
I've never seen them like this. Even yesterday.
Did they go raging last night? Did they all go to Philly and just wow out, just pound shots?
I doubt it.
I mean, they're New York guys. Isn't that commonplace?
Bringing the switchblades into downtown Philly.
I don't know, man. Is that safe for them?
I thought they just stayed in one hotel room, turned the lights off, and then just punched their way out. That's what Nikki Vegas told me they do for fun.
That's funny.
Whoever you find, you can punch. I don't want to play that game. That doesn't sound like a fun game.
It does sound like a Nikki Vegas type game.
You want to play a fun game? You turn the lights off. Whoever you find, you can beat the crap out of them.
Sounds like a terrible game.
Dude, I'm out.
Especially if you're playing it with
Nikki Vegas.
Yeah. A guy who's about 5'8" and 215 pounds. So there's the starting lineup right now on your screen for New York Extreme. But not a good game for them here. And now they have to go into their 4th game, which will be against AC Dallas. So not really the situation you want to be in, where you are 1-2 and you're in a must-win situation in your last game, and you have to play one of the best teams out here in AC Dallas. So, and again, thank you guys so much for joining us here on Facebook and to watch the rest of the tournament, the 2019 NXL Philly Open, 3rd stop on the tour, and traditionally the 2nd hardest tournament to win after the World Cup. It's always a fun one to watch. So please do us a solid and head on over to GoSports.com and subscribe if you're a paintball fan. We need your help. We're trying to take paintball to the next level. We need a showcase for that, and that's what we're attempting to do here, put on the best show we possibly can. And the more facets and elements and the more behind-the-scenes stuff and documentaries and more events that we can cover is completely contingent on your support. So Please help us out. So about to jump into this next point. It's just not enough out of New York Extreme here, and some nice execution from Infamous here in this match. But Infamous needs to put a couple more up if they want to have a legitimate chance to move on to Sunday. Need a big win here.
A big breakout right now for NYX. They do lose Harris, but they take the Dorito side 50 brick, and Baltimore runs and shoots all the way to the Snake 1. Looks like Infamous gonna lose. Did they lose no one? I thought they lost Thomas over here. I don't see anyone wide on the Snake side for Infamous. Did Infamous start with 4? Cody Mikowski gets shot.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Yeah.
No, it's their pit side. Yeah, so they did lose. Now they've lost
and they
3.
lose another one, so some gunfight losses and a loss off the break here. It's helping New York Extreme try to put their second point on the board, potentially. Baltimore past the 50-yard line. There goes another body as Drew Templeton gets shot out of the mini wall on the D side. Hennessy stacks up with Baltimore as they're trying to close this one out and close it out quick. I don't think they have a chance to score 4, but they're going to give it a shot.
I don't know what they're doing. It's 4-on-1.
But every point that Infamous gives up here is just going to lessen their chances to move on to Sunday. Hennessy going to sprint in, hit that buzzer with 1:35 left. So we finally get some sort of a rebel yell out of the New York Extreme guys.
Irvin.
You know what I think of in these situations? There's the one clip of Todd Martinez, Chicago, 2012, coming back into the pit. Probably one of my favorite clips of all time. We'll get back to that, but for all my gaming friends out there, Twitch, awesome platform to watch stuff. We are free and live all weekend on the GI divisional field. Go to Twitch, create an account, and search Go Sports Live, one word. So divisional paintball Philly Open action will be live all weekend long. Looking to get a schedule to you. I think the NXL has done a good job. I think they're going to have a whole bunch of different games on that field from every division possible that they can fit in there. Steve Rabikoff, Rich Telford of GI Sports are over there. This is all possible because of GI. Throwing some funds in to the ring to bring this to you. A couple cameras, a couple commentators, and some divisional action, and all free on Twitch.
By the way, I saw Rab. He said when you get done after this game, he wants you to go over there and commentate the divisional games.
When did you see him? Like just a couple minutes ago?
Well, the only reason why I was late was because Rab stopped me to talk for a minute. Otherwise, I'd have been here on time. Cause, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, Rab talking to you and selfies with Lauren Kelly.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, but for real though, I saw Rab, and Rab was like, "Hey, tell Nick to go over."
See, I don't know. Is this another 20 bucks well spent?
Actually, Todd, I'm glad that you let Nick know that, because I was about to say that as well too. So
okay.
We're gonna have to bid goodbye to Nick.
I thought there
He's
was 3
be
members of
heading
this
over
broadcast
to the
crew.
divisional field after this.
I just don't know.
See, I thought I was playing.
I think you're always playing. Even when I see you pissed off at your team, I think you're still playing. Todd the player. Y'all heard?
I'm a player.
1:36 left in this match, and a 3-point spread. 30-second points is possible.
I think I think Harris has played every bunker on this field this match.
Harris
players.
is just everywhere.
He went Dorito 1, back center, the Snake can, the Snake 2, the Snake brick.
Well, New York Extreme is trying for it, but they do lose Harris, as you can't fault anyone on New York Extreme for dying at this point in time as long as they're pushing forward.
Extreme shot 2 guys
Yeah, they did.
on the break.
New York Extreme, they had an opportunity here. I mean, maybe they still have an opportunity to potentially put another one up, but they need to go and hit the gas pedal right now, and they're trying to, but we're under a minute. Baltimore at the 50-yard line here, trying to cut through the center, and he's going to send it. Trying to do damage control is Infamous on the D side as they try to get the pinch on Baltimore as he's playing the pin right now. He gets that kill. They trade out. Drew Templeton, we're going to have a major penalty assessed, I believe, on New York Extreme, which is going to immediately stop the time. Under 60 seconds, you see a red flag go in the air. That
Did
is
you
a
see a red
swing.
flag go?
Yeah, saw a red flag go up. I mean, it is a little early, and I've only had maybe a fourth of my coffee, but I'm pretty sure it was a red flag.
Yep. It was on Baltimore when he was in the center exchanging with
Drew.
Exchanging with Drew.
Well,
I thought it looked pretty clean to me.
In these situations, you see major penalties sometimes when teams are streaking down the field trying to get a couple points in, a minute and 30. That's when you see that's when you see that red flag, which again immediately stops that clock, gives the point to their opponents, and that's a situation here. So that's a little bit of a gift for Los Angeles Infamous as they are able to put another one up. But we are going to see potentially, I think this will be the last point unless we see another major penalty. That's not out of the realm of possibility. So I don't know. We'll see. So let's get a look here, and it looks like Thomas Taylor has snuck into the kill count leader. O'Mara right behind him with Trailer. Chad George is up there, and Archie Montemayor. I don't think, well, we'll see what Thomas does in this next game. Thomas is going to need to go off in the next game that Infamous plays, and that game is going to be against Boom. So we'll see. I mean, if Thomas clocks in on the Snake side, has a couple three-pack run-throughs, Thomas could get up there, and I don't know about having it stay. It's all going to be up to whether or not Infamous makes it on to Sunday, but it'll make it a little bit interesting because Archie and Chad George and all the rest of the guys are going to be playing in the afternoon. They're going to have 2 games to start putting up numbers.
Yes, sir. Stack them stats. Get on the leaderboard. Get that gold barrel.
So the next set that's coming up, don't go anywhere, San Diego Dynasty, ML Kings. Dynasty looked really good yesterday. As they defeated Aftermath and put up some numbers on them. It was a 6-1 pretty solid win, even though Aftermath was in a decent amount of those points. And then Dynasty went on to have a pretty close game against Tampa Bay Damage. They won that game 4-2. Also in that set, Aftermath, who lost both their games yesterday, so that's 6 losses in a row for Aftermath, and they're going to be playing Damage, who's 1-1. So Damage is still in this one. Aftermath, who knows, if they come out today, have a different look and put up 2 wins, win big, they also will have a chance to move on. Need to go about 2-2 to move on, and you need to have a decently positive point spread in order to move on to Sunday. 10 teams advance into Sunday Paintball. That's the goal here.
Do we know? Yeah, so review being called. I would love to see a review on that, the penalty that was thrown.
Did you guys see it?
I mean,
so Altimore came across to the pin, and Drew saw that, left a poor position he was in, but put himself in the open. Altimore jumped over the top of the pin, saw Drew moved, and then came out left-handed, and I thought they traded.
It looked like a trade to me.
It did. Now, maybe Altimore got, when Drew moved up, he got clipped in the pack, and then continued to play, and the ref was in no, I don't know.
I mean, the exchange is happening across the field, and the ref that threw it was way back over here in the middle of the
you couldn't see Drew.
Field lengthwise. He couldn't even see Drew. So he had to have seen Altimore get shot and then continue to shoot. But you and I both saw the exchange between Altimore and Drew, and it looked like they were both just teeing off on each other. So
yeah.
So I see how that could be easily mistaken.
Right. Well, I'd say I don't know how you can, if you can't see the other player that's shooting the guy, you don't know if he's getting shot. So how can you throw a major? Just
yeah. So we do have a replay review. So our commissioner Jason Trojan is down here in our production trailer and looking at the tape right now to see whether or not it was a legitimate major, at least if he can find it on the camera angles.
And this is why it has to be reviewed because of the rule. If a major penalty under 60 seconds is a swing point. Also, what has to be reviewed, depending on bodies, is it looks like it's going to be upheld because they're going to have to start down a body, which is, well, whatever. We can say whatever we want from here. The ruling's been made, but that is a reviewable play. So Delano going to have to sprint off. NYX starting with 4. Infamous with 5.
Split screen breakout, 46 seconds left to go, and 4-point spread. So this game's over as far as who's going to win is concerned, but Infamous really is going to want to try to put another one up because they need all the points they can get. Now the body walks off here for Extreme 3-on-4 as Infamous also lost a body off the break.
Craft all the way up to that mini wall on the Dorito side on the break, running and gunning around the corner.
3
as
bodies
he gets
dead.
2 kills on the inside and now has crossed all the way over.
2-on-1.
19 seconds on the clock. He gets picked off.
They got a chance here.
2-on-1 right now.
Lots of deaths for Infamous here, but they just, still have 2 bodies left alive, but all the bodies have dropped now for New York Extreme. And so a bend don't break moment for Infamous, and they know they need that point, so he's sprinting in. He might get it. I think he was able to get it in time, just a second.
I don't know if
he's selling it. I think it's that Brett Messer.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brett's selling it. I think he made it in time.
He definitely made it to the box.
Yeah, so that's going to be a 7th point which is going to be
Turn the Jets on right there.
Mercy Roll win.
Boosties.
So thank you
Save the
guys
spray for the way back.
so much for joining us here. Next set, Dynasty ML Kings and Aftermath taking on Tampa Bay Damage.